Hello guys and welcome to today's video wherein I'm going to give you an overview of IELTS Task 1 Academic, especially the data charts, because in IELTS Task 1 Academic, apart from the data charts you also get process diagrams and maps. Okay, let's begin without further wasting a single second. Okay, so in IELTS Task 1 Academic, usually you get data charts. As the name itself suggests, what are data charts? They represent some kind of a data. Some of the examples you can see there. The first one is the pie graph. Second one is the table. Then we have bar graphs. Third one is the line chart, and the fourth one is the mixed one. So this is what you get in data charts. You may also get, apart from the data charts, you may also get the process diagrams or the life cycle. This is how the process diagram look like. This is the one example wherein a production of fish pie is demonstrated through pictures. And the another one on the right of your screen is a life cycle of a frog. And then the you may also get the maps wherein this one, wherein like this one. You can have maps of two different you know times, one of the past, one of the present. These maps can be like of a park as shown in the picture, of any premises, school, college, hospital, maybe airport, railway station, layout of a city, maybe how it looked in the past, how it looks right now, or maybe how it looks right now and how it is going to look like after 10 years or after remodeling maybe. Right, so either data charts or process diagrams or maps. There are few things which are common. Like, what are those things? The word limit, which is common, structure needed, which will be used to describe them, is going to be common. The parameters are common. The four key parameters are there on which your writing will be judged, and you will get you'll get the score. So these all things are common. Let's understand. So data charts. Let's talk about data charts in this video. So data charts basically represent some sort of data, as the name itself suggests. So this data can be the percentage of something, some specific, or some the percentage of some specific set of people, percentage contribution in something, percentage participation in something, percentage of winning or losing maybe. For example, you can see this, one pie chart, and you can see the data is represented in percentage. So percentage of who? You can see that it's percentage of graduates in 2019 from a particular university named Brighton University who got employment in different sectors. You can see those sectors, like 33% of those graduates started working in service industries, 16.3 started working in manufacturing industry. So basically, this represents the data in percentage. It can be in numbers or quantity. So the graph basically can represent some sort of a number or quantity, as in these two examples you can see there. These are both are bar graphs, and one basically shows the number of men and women in further education on the left. So this is the number in thousand, which it says, while the second one, the second bar graphs basically shows the amount in pounds sterling. So in amount, it can be the amount like money, or maybe amount in terms of weight, kilogram, milligram, kilocalories, calories, or maybe quantity of something. So in data charts, either you get the data in percentage or in numbers, or you get in quantity. So word limit, like I said earlier as well, is 150. This is the minimum word limit. So are we supposed to write 400 words? No, answer is no. It should be between 150 and 200. Why? Because we have a limited time. So we are not supposed to go beyond 200 words. Ideally, should be writing around 165 to 170. Even if you write 155 words, is more than good enough for you to score high band score. It totally depends on data. So what is the biggest challenge? There are several challenges, of course, but one of the prominent challenge that you're going to face here is to keep track of the words, because you know that you're not supposed to write less than 150 words, especially when you opt for pen paper based test, and you just keep on counting, so that wastes the time and energy. However, if you know the right structure, if you know how many words and sentences needed to be written in each paragraph, I believe you will not struggle. You don't have to count. But if you go for a computer delivered test, this is the one advantage that you have over the paper based test, because you would be able to see the word limit on your screen. Now, structure. Let's quickly understand. This structure is common, either data chart or process diagrams or maps. You start with introduction. You start with the introduction. Remember that you don't give any headline. It is written here, introduction, but you're not supposed to give any headline. So introduction, you start with the introduction. So either graph, chart, table, or maybe process diagrams or the maps, you are supposed to write, like around 1 to 3 sentences, as you can see here. 1 to 3 sentences. Okay. So write 1 to 3 sentences. Sometimes even one sentence is more than good enough. And after writing the introduction, you write the overview. And what is overview? Overview basically, wherein again in 1 to 3 sentences, you highlight the trend. You're not supposed to give the data, remember that. You just basically focus more on the trend, whatever trend that you observe from the graph you mention here. In case of process diagrams, you mention the key steps or the main step or number of steps. In case of in case of maps, you mention the big changes, the main changes, the key changes. Right. So this is what you write in the overview, and please do not focus too much on writing a very lengthy overview. Sometimes even one sentence, if it highlights the key change, or it highlights the main trend of the data chart, is more than good enough. Remember that there should not be any data mentioned here. That's the key thing. You are not supposed to write in data. Then two body paragraphs, whatever data is there, uh, uh, needed to be mentioned in two separate body paragraphs. You can see there two separate body paragraphs, 1 and 2. What are you supposed to write in those body paragraphs? Here, remember, data must be described. If you are basically writing the description of the data charts, data must be described. However, you should remember that this data should be accurate, right? Using pertinent and non-repeated words, right? Grammatically correct and varied sentences type. So you should not be using one single sentence type. You should not be repeating the words, and then you need to use appropriate linkers to connect different ideas and sentences. This is what you're supposed to do for both the paragraphs. And remember, again, I'm repeating, data must be described. And while describing, there are few things that you should remember. You are not supposed to make assumptions, or you're not supposed to give your opinion here. Whatever is represented by the image, only that should be, rather I should say, only that image should be transcribed, you can say, in your words. This is how this it should be done. So this is the structure, and structure is common for maps and diagrams too. Writing introduction in 1 to 3 sentences, then you write the overview, 1 to 3 sentences, body paragraph 1 and 2. Like for every body paragraph, you should be writing 6 to 7 sentences. Yeah, it is not written here. I'm writing it here now. You should be writing around 6 to 7 sentences for body paragraph 1, and around 6 or even 5 to 7 sentences in certain cases. In total, like I said earlier, you should be writing around minimum 150 words. You can write up to 165, 175, sometime 180. Do not go beyond 180. It should be precise. It should be accurate. Precise, concise, and accurate. This is how it should be. Okay, so you can see here the vocabulary which is used is like for data. It's percent participation rate. 2% of the boys love reading, right? So then you can see one third the fraction is used. So this is the variety. Other linkers such as moreover is also used, and they are also not repeated. And for contradictory sentences, when you add two contradictory information, you use however. Because see, if you see that these two sentences here, the other chart suggests that dancing is the top choice for girls as 27% take it as their leisure activity. But the next sentence basically, if you see here, this is about boys. There's a contradiction as only 1/10 favor listening to music, which is very less as compared to this data, and exactly the same percentage of boys who enjoy listening to music. So then you use this kind of a linker, and you can see there different linkers are used to connect ideas in sentences, and data is clearly mentioned. And and remember that when you mention the data, you are not supposed to play with the data. However, you can represent it in fraction if it is possible, like this one third and one fourth. So in the body paragraphs, the data is clearly mentioned using pertinent vocabulary. The sentences are well connected using linkers, and different kind of sentences, simple, compound, even passive sentences are used. So this makes it a very good writing, and this certainly is something which is very close to the 9 band score. And you can see one more thing, because I've observed in many cases. Remember that you're not just the all the this all area, all paragraphs. You can see they all are left aligned. There should not be any gap, and you can see there. This is how it starts. This letter T and R, they are aligned. O, D, H, all are aligned. There should not be people. I don't know why people do that. Sometimes they leave a little gap and then they start writing it. You are not supposed to do that. Don't do that. Okay, so this is how it should be written. Now remember a few things. So uh, the key challenges are and like to identify the key features. This is the challenge. Many people struggle to do that. They do not understand the trend. So this is a big challenge, because unless you basically understand the trend, you will not be able to write it accurately. So look for the overall trend. Number one, or look for the overall trends, highest and lowest values of something, and the major changes over time. This will be very useful, especially writing your overview. And because overview is an essential part of your structure. The next thing is, like I said earlier, accurate data language. So remember that when you basically describe any change, you use sorry the appropriate adjective to basically represent this change. If it is too sharp, you can say something rose sharply. You can say if something was, if something hasn't changed and almost the value remained the same, you can say remained steady or declined gradually, slowly, right? So if for comparison is also very essential. At least if you're writing two body paragraphs, then you should be making a comparison, like in the previous model. You must have noticed that there was comparison between the certain activities between boys and girls. So you can use those superlative comparative degrees higher than the lowest as much as. Now, organizing the information logically, uh, which requires you to understand it and then use them, group them together, link them using the right linkers, as we observed in the last case, in body paragraph 1 and 2, wherein appropriate linkers were used. Okay, so these are the key challenges, and this is how you're going to overcome. Okay, in order to make write a description for the high band score, so that you can get high band score. Now, 5 points very quickly you should remember, and these points are: number one, you need to understand the purpose. You need to describe, summarize, and compare key information from visual data like bar charts, pie, line, or tables in at least 150 words. It should not go beyond 200 words. You should focus on the main trends, significant differences when it happens, and overall patterns. Then you need to structure your writing in 4 parts: introduction, overview, wherein you basically mention the main trends, body paragraph 1 and body paragraph 2, and then language. You should the language you should be using, like comparative structures, accurate data reporting, which is essential, and varied vocabulary, as you observed in the last case. And common mistakes that often people do and you should avoid, like you are not supposed to give personal opinions or explanation in task 1. Now, for in-depth understanding on how to write task 1, please subscribe my channel and press the bell icon so that you do not miss the next video on in-depth understanding on how to interpret data and describe them accurately, because often people struggle in it. How to keep track of the time management equally important. Learn how to use paraphrasing, and very effective tool uh, for writing task 1. And then how to comprehend trends,